afternoon, all, and welcome to the first annual Partner Summit. My name is Kyron Jones, and I am a 16-year-old junior at Open High School, and I serve as a youth navigator for our youth council. A major reason I wanted to join Mayor's Youth Academy Council is to expand my resume through experiences that will empower a better tomorrow. As we know, it is good to have a lot of organizations that can attest to your craft, work ethic, and motivation to make a major impact in our world. Another reason I joined is because I have decided it is time to step out of my comfort zone and set goals for myself I have never even thought about accomplishing. I went from a shy, introverted person to joining Mayor's Youth Academy, to then becoming a youth navigator, to now getting the chance to speak in front of all of you. This council has been nothing but amazing to me, as well as my fellow peers. I am very, very, very appreciative of the many opportunities this program has offered me. The vision of Youth Engagement Services is to develop Richmond's future workforce with hopes of supporting access to quality employment and related supports that will decrease poverty in the city of Richmond. Poverty reduction is a journey, not a destination. Today, we are here to acknowledge and highlight our past, present, and future relationships with our youth and the partners that support our mission in building a better tomorrow. With that being said, to start off our program, we will have opening remarks by Deputy Chief Administrative Officer Tracy DeShazer, followed by Program Coordinator for the Youth Engagement Services, Ms. Erica Love, to give us a warm welcome. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Tracy DeShazer, the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Human Services for the City of Richmond. First, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you for investing in our youth and for showing up for them time and time again. It's my understanding that this is the first time, perhaps in a long time, that we have been together in person. So thank you also for making time in your schedules to connect. We understand that there is so much power in convening. It means something when we take a moment to put down our digital devices. We take a moment to ensure that we are prioritizing being centered and being present. It means that we're able to connect. It means that we're able to, again, center and be reminded of why we came together in the first place to collaborate. And it means that we are able to understand our collective impact around supporting our youth. You know, in human services, many of you all have heard me say this, but I say that human services touches the lives of each and every Richmonder. Whether you are walking on our trails, wandering the stacks of our libraries, whether you are connecting to our social services, or whether you are a participant in the Mayor's Youth Academy, right? Human services impacts, again, and touches the lives of each and every Richmonder. You all are here today because you recognize, again, that our youth, they are bright here in the city of Richmond. They are beautiful, they are brilliant. You know that our youth are kind, they are caring, and they are compassionate, and they are the future of our city. So we, again, just want to welcome you. We want to thank you for being our partners in this effort. And again, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I had to write it down, otherwise I'll be up here all day. All right. Again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners and honored guests. On behalf of the Youth Engagement Services team at the Office of Community Wealth Building and home of the Mayor's Youth Academy, we'd like to thank you for being here and representing the driving force behind positive change for the youth and the young adults we serve. Before we proceed, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and recognize a few individuals, starting with Mayor Stoney for his vision and contributions to our shared goals, Chief Administrative Officer Lincoln Saunders, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer Tracy DeShazer for her continuous support and passion for service, and of course, our fearless leader, Capricia Spellman, whose guidance and leadership have been extremely instrumental in everything that we do. I'd also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my colleagues in OCWB. If you all could just raise your hand real quick, everyone in OCWB. Thank you so much. And lastly, but certainly not least, the MYA team for their dedication and hard work in making today's event possible. Thank you so much. Teamwork is at the core of our success, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your contributions. Over the last few months, I've had the privilege of attending events like the one we're gathered for now. Each time I left feeling inspired and convinced that this is something we need to continue to do, but with a strategic focus on who fills these seats. Our city is filled with remarkable leaders, visionaries, and entrepreneurs whose yes carried weight and contributed to numerous success stories. So what would it look like if all these individuals came together and said yes to investing in the future of Richmond's workforce? This room is filled with change agents, individuals who can ensure that youth have access to post-secondary success, mentors, and opportunities that might otherwise be closed to them. In a world where time is of the essence, we're losing young people to drug addiction, gun violence, and even their interest in a life outside of what they can see. We need your yes because it can change lives, impact families, and make a better Richmond for us all. Just recently, we received a yes from our partners at RTC. RTC, where you at? There we go. And now, for the first time this program was established, MYA has a place to call home in Richmond Public Schools. Even while reflecting on my own journey, I thought about the people and decision makers who sat where you are now and decided this city needed a program designed to provide access to quality employment and learning opportunities for youth. Their yes led to me, a shy, quiet girl from Fairfield Court, getting my first job through MYA at 15 years old. I spent 3 summers interning for MYA, developing various skills and building a network of established professionals I would later utilize as references for college, job applications, and some that I now call colleagues. I didn't realize that the weight of their yes would completely change the trajectory of my life and eventually set me on the path to where I am today. I am extremely proud to be a former MYA participant. Thank you. As we embark on this journey together, let us keep in mind that progress is neither swift nor easy, but with each yes uttered here today, we are propelling progress forward. Let this summit be a testament to our collective determination to create lasting change for the youth we serve. Thank you all again for being here, for bringing the weight of your yes to this room, and for being a part of the positive change we aim to create. And now I would like to welcome my colleague, Angelica Heath, to recognize an organization that said yes.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna bring this down a little. All right, so again, my name is Angelica Heath, and I am the Older Youth Engagement Specialist here for the Mayor's Youth Academy. I am still fairly new to the MYA team, but I just want to take a moment to give my team a round of applause because since joining, Yeah, since joining MYA, I will say that I am so proud and grateful to be able to work alongside a team of individuals who are so dedicated and passionate about empowering youth and being able to serve the community and build up our workforce. So thank you again. Again, new to the team, but I am so proud and grateful to be here today. So I just wanted to take a moment on behalf of the entire Youth Engagement Services team, the Office of Community Wealth Building, and the City of Richmond. I would like to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to several special supporters who have played a key role in making this event possible. Starting with RVA Financial, Lowe's, Richmond Parks and Recreation, and finally, the Office of Strategic Communication and Engagement. Right. Through their dedication to our community, they have not only demonstrated their commitment to our mission, but they have also become true partners in creating opportunities for our future emerging youth workforce. So thank you again. Finally, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you all for attending today. Your generosity is really paving the way for a brighter future, and we are immensely grateful for the positive change you are helping us achieve. So again, let's give a round of applause for the outstanding commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders. Yes, thank you. And I would love to turn this over to Dr. Lerone Joseph.
Hello, everyone. So typically, I'm the only one that gets the warning, don't ad-lib, stick to the script. No storytelling, Lerone. Angelica opened the door. That was not part of the practice run, so it's on now. Well, welcome to our first Partner Summit for Youth Engagement Services with the Office of Community Wealth Building, formerly the Mayor's Youth Academy. You know who we are. Welcome. So I have the esteemed honor and pleasure of serving our youth as the program manager for the Mayor's Youth Academy. And my presentation, 10 to 12 minutes, hopefully. First half, I want to share a quick overview for those of you who may not know us in detail. And then, most exciting for me, to talk about what we accomplished in 2023 and where we hope that we're going in 2024 and beyond. So MYA is the youth serving unit of the Office of Community Wealth Building. This unit is comprised of dedicated, authentic, and innovative professionals committed to developing the future workforce of our great city. With a growth mindset, we strive to eliminate barriers that may lead to poverty. We believe in fostering flexibility and being resourceful in our approach. Youth Engagement Services is a safe space for all youth in the city of Richmond to explore diverse career paths, ensuring everyone has an opportunity to grow and thrive. Now, that's what they told me to say. Now, I'll tell you what I tell youth when I go out. We're here to help you figure it out. So if you don't remember any of this, we are here to help you figure it out. We love working with youth who come in and say, we have no idea what we want to do. That lights up my day and gives me an opportunity to say, let's figure it out together. Youth Engagement Services offers several advantages to participants, including personalized career exploration, expert guidance from well-qualified professionals, a supportive community network, connections to mentors, and access to supportive services. So historically, most of you know us as the Summer Work Experience Program. We're all aware of what happened in 2020. We had to pivot. Just work experience wasn't going to cut it anymore. This is a new generation of youth with new expectations, new beliefs, and new demands. We have an obligation to meet them there. So we shifted. We saw what the workforce needs were. We recognized that our program was good, but it could be great. We understood that we couldn't do it alone and that collective impact was where we needed to go. Partnership, teamwork, connections, all critical to our success. So today we are here. The road was not easy. We won't sugarcoat it. We have challenges, but we won't stop. So we've made the change to our work-based learning model, and we are tippy-toeing towards that to make sure, I said tippy-toeing, to make sure that we can adequately serve all our youth in the city of Richmond so that they can successfully have post-secondary plans. So why work-based learning? It enhances skill development, it offers career exploration and guidance, it improves academic performance, it increases confidence and motivation, and of course, it strengthens college and job applications. So some of our key performance indicators are our completion rates for our program, which I would love to brag and say that in 2023, out of our 420 students who participated, we had 417 students make it to the end. We measured the number of students who secured internships, student and partner satisfaction surveys, attendance, and credential attainment. There's still lots of room to grow, and this is why we're here today. Collective impact. Allow me to define it for you. The commitment of a group from various sectors to a common agenda of solving a specific problem. Again, the commitment of a group from various sectors to a common agenda for solving a specific problem. I really appreciate you being here today. I'm not sure if you came for the food or just to hear us speak, but does collective impact sound like what's happening right now? Business officers, anyone own a business here? Just go ahead, raise your hand, okay? Nonprofits, education sector, finance, construction, government. Okay, think I made my point. So when we think of collective impact, we look at empowering our students. It enhances their skills, career clarity, confidence, and most importantly, a reduction in our dropout rates. What about educational institutions? It improves your learning income, your learning outcomes, enhance your curriculum, and creates a stronger community. And now to the employers. What do we get out of it? A talent pipeline, a strong talent pipeline, a prepared talent pipeline, increased productivity, employee engagement, and last but not least, social responsibility. Our communities need these programs. Economic development, there's a reduction in unemployment, and there's social cohesion. And then last but not least, society at large. When we have collective impact, it leads to a reduction in skills gap, innovation, and long-term sustainability. So to our accomplishments. So I am proud to share with you the success of 2023. Last year marked a historic milestone for us as we garnered the largest number of applications and enrollment in our history. The Mayor's Youth Academy, as the youth-serving division of the Office of Community Wealth Building, has excelled in creating transformative experiences for our youth participants. We took a significant step to diversify and expand our partnerships. We increased placement sites and increased the summer staff to ensure that both youth and partners felt fully supported throughout the summer. The dedicated individuals at these host sites and mentors for over 400 youth aged 14 to 24 invested their time and energy in making sure that summer was successful. It is also important to note that we reach beyond traditional high schools. We involve participants at private schools, virtual school, homeschool, justice-involved youth, you name it, they came, we served them. Another key highlight of summer 2023 was our inaugural week of pre-employment training. It was a game changer. It enhanced participants' soft skills and prepared them for their 6-week placement experience. This week culminated with a mock interview and resume review session hosted by Virginia Credit Union staff members. In response to the changing in the workforce and the increased number of remote roles, for our 3rd consecutive year, we enrolled 50 students in our virtual Earn and Learn program. These participants completed profiles including resumes, elevator pitches, mission statements, and assessment through the Momentum program facilitated by Linode Coaching. They also had a unique opportunity to interact with professionals from various fields, including but not limited to Senior Supply Chain Manager of Amazon, the CEO of True Timber, and learning specialists from the University of Richmond. We strategically increased enrollment in high-demand industries, such as information technology and manufacturing, successfully placing youth also back into healthcare facilities in a post-COVID environment. Our ongoing collaboration with Parks and Recreation and Founders Mark, our entrepreneurship program, resulted in an increased number of participants in these programs. Parks and Recreation also successfully facilitated Teens Enrichment in Parks for a 2nd consecutive year. Now, this is where I really get excited. In summer 2023, across all of our programs, youth logged an impressive 48,893.08 work hours. And they say the young folks don't want to go to work. Averaging 21 to 28 hours per week, working at an hourly wage of $12. Financial literacy is a cornerstone of our program. Every single participant in our program received at least 3 hours of financial literacy training facilitated by our partners with Virginia Credit Union. But we didn't stop there, because we're not just a summer program. Post-summer, we experienced a significant milestone with the largest youth council program in history. We offered 39 youth participants a place on our youth council, and we've averaged 33 youth attending bi-weekly meetings since October 2023. Additionally, we've launched our Opportunity Youth Initiative, MYA Forward, focusing on those ages 18 to 24 who are out of school and unemployed. So far, we have engaged over 70 youth in this program, supporting numerous youth in securing credentials and stepping into the job market. On a national level, our team traveled to the National Youth Workforce Symposium in November, where we proudly presented the success of the Richmond program to the nation. Since then, we've received numerous phone calls asking, how do we do it? Can we copy? Sure, if it makes the nation better, come get it. We continue to work closer at home with our partners at RTC, our friends at GRASP, to ensure that we're providing durable skills training for those individuals involved in the Mayor's Pathways Initiative program. It is critical for me to emphasize that this work is done with the staff at the Office of Community Wealth Building, roughly 37? Good guess, Laura. And on a day-to-day, a staff of 6 individuals in youth engagement services. So in conclusion, the Mayor's Youth Academy is not just a program. It's a beacon of empowerment, resilience, and opportunity for youth of our city. We invite you, potential partners, to join in hands with us, whether through providing summer internships, sponsoring programs, or simply offering additional support. So as we move forward, we seek your continued support and partnership to amplify what we've done in the past to ensure that we have a successful future. Thank you for sharing your Friday with us, and I look forward to numerous calendar requests to discuss how your yes can make us even more better. Thank you. So you've heard me, and sometimes it's like, well, you know, you're the program manager. You have to say these things. So we were really intentional today in inviting some of our past and present participants, as well as some of our service providers and those who have served as site supervisors. So the next session is our panel with our youth. That's going to be facilitated by Raphael.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, let's try that again. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, that's the energy I needed. My name is Raphael Johnson. I am a youth engagement specialist for the Mayor's Youth Academy. What I would like to do is introduce the youth panel. We have two panel discussions coming up. First is going to be for our youth. The youth of the current and former MYA team could come up to the stage, and I'll introduce you as you come along. Come on up. All right, perfect. So, from left to the right, Victoria Allen, Ms. Zenobia Cardwell. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Davion Washington, left to right, sorry. Mario Fuller Collins, Zenobia Cardwell, and TJ Edmonds. All right, so again, I have the privilege of asking you all some questions. We'll starting with Victoria. Tell us about your experience with the Mayor's Youth Academy's Summer Work-Based Learning Program as a participant. What are one or two things you like most about your personal experience?
Hi, everyone. I'm glad the mic was on and I didn't have to figure it out myself. So when I was in the summer work experience back in 2018, I worked with the city treasurer's office with Miss Nicole Armstead. And my favorite thing about my placement there was, one, working with her because she was such a great mentor and she really did help me learn about coming into corporate spaces and working with government. And I didn't have experience like that before, so learning from another Black woman was really impactful for me in terms of how to navigate both my identity and my skills in a corporate and government workplace. And then I also really loved how much working in City Hall allowed me to meet with other agencies. So like we reached out with the mayor, we worked with like other local orgs like RBA Financial, and she had a couple boards at the time that we worked with, local agencies. So that was really exciting for me.
Thank you. Mario, I'm going to move the question to you. Same question. Tell us one or two things you like most about your personal experience.
All right. So personally, I enjoyed the people that I met. Yeah, I just met some really cool people. I worked with a lot of different people, and it was really nice to just talk to people, meet new people, just expose myself to different things that I wasn't exposed to before. That's just about it, honestly.
Perfect. I'm gonna go back to Davion. Davion, same question.
Okay, so when I first started, I didn't sign up to be a CIT because, that's the counselors and training program. And that's when you work at the summer camps around the Richmond city. So when I first signed up and they gave me my work placement, and I was like, a summer camp? I didn't sign up to work with kids, but I was like, okay, let me try this out. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the experience of kind of getting out of my comfort zone and thinking about what I want to do in the future and how I want to continue to develop relationships. And along with working with kids, I did the Founders Mark program, and I was able to develop my own business. I own a crochet business. So through Founders Mark,
You go, girl.
through Founders Mark, I was able to learn more about entrepreneurship and just learn the ins and out of business. And at the end of that program, we did a career fair, a career type thing, and people were allowed to look at our businesses and buy from us. So yeah, I enjoyed that experience too.
Thank you. Next question. Zenobia, Can you share a specific moment or event during your involvement with MYA that had a lasting effect on your personal or professional development?
Oh, that's a great one. So, my final placement with MYA, because I did growth track and I did job placement, my final placement was with the Virginia Department of Transportation. And I ended up working in their Department of Communications under a wonderful woman named Keisha Walker. And that was when I first learned that government entities had actual communications offices. But it ended up fueling my love for communications. I went to school and majored in communications, and now I do content creation. I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer. So it initiated that love for communications and learning all realms of communication. So I can definitely say it progressed with me. So it walked with me. It kind of gave me my introduction.
That's beautiful. Appreciate that. TJ, same question.
Can you repeat the question?
Of course, I got you. Can you share a specific moment or event during your involvement with MYA that had a lasting effect on your personal or professional development?
Yes, hello everyone. Please work with me. I'm not good with speaking with large crowds. Y'all scare me a little bit. I think the biggest point that stuck out to me was during my 3 years with MYA, I also worked at the Department of Transportation, VDOT, and I loved it. It really gave me a look into what was ready for me after I went through school and everything, and I got to kind of cater my path towards that now instead of kind of going in blindly. I was able to have somewhat of an idea what was waiting for me, and it was a big help because it changed what I went into school for. We're not going to talk about school; that's a whole nother conversation. But it really gave me some foresight, and I think I'll never forget kind of what it was a shock. I was always thought it was going to be super like boring and just sitting there every day, but understanding that these places had these hyper teams that got together, team build, did fun things together, all just to learn each other, and through that was able to work with each other so much better. And so taking just some of the things I learned there into my future, that was the thing that stuck out the most.
Thank you for that. That was good, bro. You did good. Yeah. My next question is going to be for Victoria. As a counselor, what key elements contributed to a successful partnership between you and the partner worksite?
So I think for me, I mentioned how when I first started with MYA in 2018, one of the most impactful things for me was having a Black woman to kind of guide me through the ranks. So I think for me, bringing my identity into every place and every space and to every person that I work with was really important for me as well. I worked with the virtual program, so I'm talking to kids through a screen, praying that they're actually awake and talking back, and they were. And I think for that, showing up authentically as myself, but also still as a professional, helped kids really see what they could be. So, if you have a parent who doesn't work like in the corporate world or has, they own their own business or they're like in a different field than what you want to go into, you don't really know what it's like until you get to see it. So I think for a lot of kids, seeing that showed them that this is something I can do, this is somewhere I can be, and there's finally someone who can help get me there.
Thank you. This next question is for Davion. What would you say are the most important lessons of leadership that you've learned?
I would say the biggest lesson that I learned for leadership would have to be knowing how to communicate. Communication is everything, especially when you're working with kids as a kid yourself. I'm only 16, but at the time I was still 15 and working with kids from 5 to 15. So they were all my age and I'm not that big of a person, so they kind of saw me as like a lower individual. But I know when I first got there that they didn't really like respect or kind of listen because they thought, oh, she's small. Yeah. But communication is a big thing, learning to listen and learning how to overall like work around your different relationships. And I know that aside from my work site that I was at, communicating with the counselor I had or communicating with the whole MYA team, they allowed me to have different experiences or different opportunities like this one. So as a leader that knows how to communicate, you open a lot of doors for yourself. So I would say that's the most important lesson.
Thank you. Mario, same question. What would you say is the most important lessons of leadership that you learned?
I would say the most important lessons of leadership that I learned was to be a leader. Just growing up, I had to be a leader. I had to be a big brother. I just had to step up and just do what I had to do. Also, I want to double down on the communication. Through Mayor Youth Academy, I had to communicate differently than I did when I was home. So coming out to this workspace, I had to communicate differently to different people and learn how to communicate, knowing I couldn't speak a certain way. Had to change a little bit. And that's just the most important part, really, just being able to communicate with different people of different backgrounds, different everything. That's mainly it, honestly.
Oh, thank you. And TJ, I'll pose the same question to you as well. What would you say is the most important lessons of leadership that you learned?
I think communication is a big one. I can't leave that out. But along with communication is having an open perspective. So not only listening, but being able to at least try to see where they're coming from, the variables that their answer is coming from, and taking all that into account before really making a decision. So communication and understanding and being open are big when it comes to leadership for me.
Thank you. Zenobia, how did being part of MYA impact your educational journey, and did it influence your decisions regarding higher education or career choices?
So I was the first youth mayor, so that will say a lot about my choices I think I made. One thing I was really big about was coming back to the city wherever I went to school. So I decided to take my little self down 64 and attended Old Dominion University, where I majored in communications. And I made it a point once I came back home, I was going to do something good in the city. So I started my first business, H4 Creative Firm, and thus off of that, I spawned my nonprofit, which is 125 Black women. We are actually in RPS. We've done quite a few things with them. Couple years, we're getting ready to come up on our 3rd year with them. But I think it influenced my decision because it made me come back home. This is home. Richmond is home for me. And there's nothing better than helping out your home. It's nothing better than being at home, seeing the familiar faces. And it really forced me, I think, going away and coming back forced me to grow up and come back and do what I needed to do. So I would say it impacted my leadership, it impacted my educational journey because it made me go away. But when I came back, I knew I was ready to lead, and I knew I was ready to do what I needed to do professionally and personally.
Love that. Love that. All right. So last question is going to be for the entire panel. We'll just kind of go from left to right. If you could offer advice to current or future MYA participants, based on your experience, what would it be? Starting with you, Victoria.
So for me, I would say to any participant that's thinking about it or wants to, set foot in a new space, just to show up. Showing up is the first step to being good at anything. Showing up is the first step to being the best at anything. And MYA really does cater to every student, and they really do have a almost foolproof process where they will not let you fail. So if you just show up, you will get somewhere, and you'll be so happy that you just came out in the first place.
The biggest thing I would say is know that you're safe. Like, know that you're coming into a safe space. You know that you're coming into a safe space. When I first heard about the program, my brother did the program about a decade ago. So it was, when I joined, it was pretty different. It was pretty different. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But you have to get to know, know that the staff here really truly cares about you and they want to see you succeed. And their biggest focus is you. They wouldn't have as much of a program without you. So realizing that you'll be set up for success and getting comfortable with the different places that they'll put you or the different opportunities that may be in store for you is the biggest thing I would say. So.
Of course, I got you. I got you. If you could offer advice to current or future MYA participants based on your experiences, what would it be?
I would say keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Just you never know what you're going to expect. Yeah, just be ready for anything. Yeah, just be ready for anything. And just take it as a learning lesson. Don't take anything too personal. Accept criticism. Not everything is directed towards you. Some things trying to make you better. Yeah. Be able to accept criticism, because a lot of people can't do that, and once you learn to do that, you can really become a better person, personally.
All right, so I'm about to show my age. You saying a decade ago. I'm gonna let that little decade comment slide because it's been over a decade since I was in MYA. So I'm gonna let that little decade comment slide. I would say my biggest advice that I would give anybody doing this program is I love the you're safe, because I always felt safe when I came to MYA. But also stay connected to your people that you work with. Stay connected, build your network. Your network is so critically important. I will even speak to my MYA coordinators when I was a part of the program. They are both former RPS teachers. One of them just defended their dissertation for their doctoral degree, but I've stayed connected with them and they've offered me other opportunities to do other things. So build your network and stay the course. I can say I did growth track. I went to job placement. My sister is also an MYA product. She did CIT and did job placement. Both of us graduated. We went on to do great things. She's teaching now. I'm doing my nonprofit work. So I will say it has made us become people of the community and want to come back and do the good. So I would say just build your network so you can do the good, to continue to do the good.
This the last question? Sure. Can you repeat it for me one more time, please?
No, I got you. If you could offer advice to current or future MYA participants based on your experiences, what would it be?
Don't choose something just because it sounds fun or it's comfortable. My mother really pushed me to oh, you've done that before. You can do something that you've never heard of before, something that you'll learn something. So don't choose a little summer internship that's oh, I've done that before, or it's that sounds easy. Choose something that you've never heard of, something that's going to make you uncomfortable, something that's going to force you to change and learn. That'd be the biggest advice.
Perfect. All right. Thank you all so much for your words of encouragement and positivity. Please give it up for them one more time. Next up, we are going to have a panel discussion with current partners with the Mayor's Youth Academy. If those 4 individuals could come up, and then I'll introduce them. Okay. All right. So from left to right, we have Ms. Beth Morris from the Richmond Public Library. Ashley Mason from GRTC. Ms. Kendall Morris from Founders Mart. and Quintrell Lenore from Lenore Coaching. So starting off, I'll start with Quintrell. It's okay if I call you Q? All right, perfect. Q, can you share a specific success story or positive outcome from your organization's involvement in the Summer Work-Based Learning Program?
Yeah, so a success story, positive outcome. So first off, my name is Q. Folks call me Quintrell Lenore. I'm a country boy, so I didn't name myself, so I always give honor to my parents. So Quintrell is my name. You guys call me Q. I've been blessed to partner with Mayor's Youth Academy for the past 4 years, and so the work that we do is as a service provider. So all of the beautiful employer partners, you guys are helping to give employment opportunities to these youth. Where on the flip side, I serve to help them to make sense of this, right? To kind of process through career clarity, explore opportunities, the soft skills that they're exercising and learning on the work site with you all, and trying to educate them on what that means and how to materialize that for the in real time, but for the future. So when I think about successes coming into this, like you can't make any assumptions that they want to like learn about career. Like career development is not a sexy topic. Thinking about like goal setting, going to college, getting a job, eventually paying taxes, that stuff is not sexy, right?
Nope.
So I think the biggest success I have is seeing young folks be engaged. So if you can imagine, we started partnering with Mayor's Youth in COVID. So all this is virtual. I know most of us in this room were probably in our underwears and pajamas on a virtual screen going to work. So I'm sure our youth were probably doing the same thing. So if you're in this virtual world learning about career development, it's not exciting, right, by default. So I think the biggest success I've seen is just young folks light up, be engaged, ask questions. You know, starting off a session where, you know, you're talking about goal setting, and then 2 minutes into it, you start to hear a lot of folks engage. So for me, I think that's a huge win. And I would say after the end of 6 weeks, where you know, I'm sort of like lecturing in real time, like they are then making this session engaging themselves. Like you can hear them talking back and forth to one another. And I would say another win is honestly seeing the counselors. So part of what I do is equipping the youth, but really I'm trying to train the trainer. So a lot of the folks that came up here were maybe past participants. Erica's story is phenomenal because she's gone through this program and now she's a leader. And so seeing the counselors actually like coach the youth, I think that's a huge success as well.
Thank you. Ashley, same question. Can you share a specific success story or positive outcome from your organization's involvement in the Summer Work-Based Learning Program?
Yes, I actually have too. So last year I had a wonderful student that I worked with, and we had one of our assistant chief of operations, transit operations, was leading GRTC. And so her task was to project management for his going away party. So she found the spot, she did the catering, she did the gifts, the guest role. I mean, she did everything, and it was such like, I don't have kids, but a proud mama moment where to see everything in fruition, where she had done everything so perfectly. And then another story I have, back around, and I think it was 2016, we had one student, and he said that he wanted to go on and do drive trucks. And he like went through all the departments. He worked in the maintenance department, overseeing what they did, as well as our transportation department. And fast forward, like in 2021, I was at Macy's, and someone came up to me and was like, "Are you Ashley?" And I said, "Yes." And it was him, Michael. He had actually gone on to become a truck driver, and it was such a proud moment to see someone have their dreams realized. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Kendall, same question. Can you share a specific success story or positive outcomes from your organization's involvement in the program?
Absolutely. We owe Mayor's Youth Academy so much because they actually gave us the first opportunity to start Founders Mark. They were the ones who took a risk on us and said, yes, we think this programming is needed, and we're willing to work with you and help you figure out what will be effective with young people. And that has helped us go from our first class of a dozen young people to now serving thousands. And so we owe Mayor's Youth a lot, and I would encourage any organization thinking about partnering. It's one of the attributes that's great about this team is that they're really in it together to collaborate with you and help ensure success. From a youth success, I didn't know that Davian was going to be here today, but I brought my bag that she made me. She, in 6 weeks, went from not having a business to making money. And this bag is custom. I challenged her. I said, hey, it'd be really cool if I could have a bag in our brand colors with our brand logo on it. Do you think you could do that? And she said, yeah, I could figure that out. And she did. So that type of challenge and experience in a really rapid amount of time is a huge success story. So I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Beth, historically, the library is one of the partners that have been able to provide accommodations to youth with various abilities. Can you share how you've been able to create a positive experience for the youth?
Yes, we have had over the years, and we have been working with Mayor's Youth for over 8 years, and we have a huge array of disabilities, which I think is lovely. The library being very inclusive, as a government entity, but to work with these children, or kids, not children anymore, but to work with them and to give them a sense of accomplishment of a variety. So this past year, we had a student, and we were able to get her as part of the youth team to help us create materials for different programs, which nobody had ever given her the opportunity to do before. And so every day she left feeling very proud of herself, which then in turn made us feel very proud because we were able to give her something to feel that she accomplished and to go on. And talking with her mom at the end of the year, and she was just like, thank you, one, so much for giving her the opportunity. Not a lot of people would, but to help her figure out something that she really enjoys. And so she went on to make little kits for us. And then she brought them back to us so that we could use them for story time, which I just thought was the most amazing thing ever.
Thank you. Ashley, walk us through a time when a youth did not meet the expectations. How did you and your team handle this situation?
Oh, this is an interesting question. So in 2022, we had 3 youth. And by the end of the season, we had 1. So one in particular, and I was so invested, he actually wanted to become a bus operator. And I remember we actually hire our students, so they have to they go through training, they go through our orientation, so they have to adhere to GRTC's rules and programs, and et cetera. So anyway, the work day was starting, and I couldn't find them, and then I looked, we have a patio area, and I looked outside, and he was sitting out there smoking a Black and Mild. I was like, oh, okay, and then he got rid of it by flicking it off. I was like, oh, I'm glad we don't burn down. And so we came back in, because that's not allowed on our property, and when I took him down to HR, there's a smell of marijuana on him. And so it was a very upsetting experience, needless to say. Unfortunately, he did not continue with the program because we are a drug-free work environment. We had to contact his mother, and it was just very unfortunate. Lerone came out, I don't know where you are, came and drove him home. But it was a learning experience. I don't manage people at GRTC, but just having that experience of, walking through some of like what you can and can't do was just a major, not a good milestone, but a major milestone for me.
Thank you. All right. Q, how does your organization promote career exploration and guidance for youth, helping them make informed decisions about their future paths?
Yeah, sure. So when Lerone approached us 2020, so we're in the heart of COVID, and his vision is how can I materialize the Mayor's Youth Academy in a virtual capacity, just quite frankly, I was like, I don't know if I'm equipped to do such a thing. So, definitely wrestle with imposter syndrome. But essentially, with what we end up putting together was just Zoom virtual sessions, right? And so we're meeting with them about an hour, and on these Zoom sessions, what we've come up with is what we call now momentum, but we're talking through 6 core content areas where one is purpose, because all of us are in the workforce as adults, but we're kind of underneath the surface of doing our worlds of work. Like, we're driven and motivated. So the first thing that we talk about is purpose. The other 3 kind of core topics that we talk about is work values, interests, and skills. So all of us will navigate our careers in very kind of happenstance sort of way. Like, our careers are not linear. So giving them a lot of language for, like, what does it mean to negotiate your personal values, your skills, what are your interests? And so that's the other 3 content areas. And then we talk a little bit about goal setting. So it might be, we're thinking about a roadmap for going into 2-year, 4-year degree program. It might be you're going straight to the workforce. It might be military. So goal setting is another thing that we talk about. And then the other thing is professionalism. So we're talking about soft skills and what does it look like to be the consummate professional on site, but also in the future when you think about the workforce. So those are like the 6 content areas that we focus on. And it's kind of framed up to help them to, like, make career decisions, but also have clarity for, like, their career long term.
Cool. Thank you very much. Kendall, same question. How does your organization promote career exploration and guidance for youth, helping them make informed decisions about their future path?
I think the biggest thing that we help young people to do is to develop skills that are future ready. They're adaptable and transferable, because what we see coming is coming quickly. And even if you are in college today studying for a degree, what your career might look like in 10 years is somewhat undefined. With the advances of technology and AI, there's a lot of rapid change. And so what we know that they need are a set of skills that carry with them, where their interests may change over time, their personal and professional needs may change, but also the changing workforce and future of work. And so what we do is we use entrepreneurship as basically a playground to learn and practice those skills, because once you can understand the process of tackling problem solving and taking it not just to ideation, but to execution and repeating that process applies to anything you will go on and do. Public service, corporate America, running your own company. So we are more focused on the skills of the future for every learner than we are on saying we're raising the next generation of entrepreneurs. We just find it to be a great practice ground for it.
Thank you for that. Keeping the next question for you, Ms. Kendall. Looking ahead, what specific goals or initiatives is your organization excited about implementing this upcoming year within the context of the program?
So we are really excited about the evolution of our work. We have gotten to partner with Mayor's Youth Academy over the years, and they've really helped us to shape what should the programming look like. One of the new things that we have built out over this last year is a focus on service leadership. How do we help our young people to understand that service can be a core part of their career path, whether they do that as a volunteer, whether they do that as their job and career. But as we grow future leaders, what is our responsibility to our communities, to our region, to our world? And how do we help them to take that same problem-solving mindset and use it to tackle social issues? So that's something we're really excited about.
Cool, thank you. Beth, in your opinion, what key elements contribute to a successful partnership between your organization and the youth participating in the program?
Wow, there's a lot of really great key ones. So one, communication, being in constant contact with the Mayor's Youth Academy, with the person the site coordinator that comes and checks on them, and with the library. we have so many different departments, and within those departments, we try to have the students go to each department so that they see all the aspects of the library, because so many people come in and go, oh, y'all shelve books, oh, y'all read, but we do so much more. And so trying to have the communication between the Mayor's Youth Academy of exactly what we expect of our Mayor's Youth and what we can give back to them as far as career goals, skills that they can use, because in each one of our departments, you're going to learn something completely different that you can then take somewhere else. So we had a student, one of our very first, came into the library and was just like, I got placed here. And I didn't choose here. You know, this is the library. What do y'all do? You know, I don't want to just shelve books all day. And so as we had her going around from all of the different departments, it was really nice to see that she latched on to a certain aspect in our Laurel Library and really got into archivalship and all of the aspects of that. She has kept in touch. So when y'all were talking about keeping those network connections, and she now has a job at the Library of Congress and is very loving it. So it's nice to see that, you know, in our close workmanship that y'all don't just, here's your people, enjoy, see y'all in 6 weeks, but that every week somebody comes and checks and talks with us about what are the successes, what are the things that we need to work on both sides to make that the whole thing on both sides for the Mayor's Youth, the Mayor's Youth Academy, and the departments, that it's all cohesive and successful for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much. Last question is for the entire panel. I'm gonna start with Q and work my way down. Drawn from your own experiences, what insights or recommendations would you share to partners who may be interested in collaborating with the Mayor's Youth Academy?
What insights for partners? I would say, employer partners' roles are very critical. Like these youth are at a very critical stage in their lives. And most of our youth are in vulnerable stages of their lives. I say it all to say, like, you are a change agent. So we don't have to overcomplicate it, but I like to say, like, you're a coach. So Mayor's Youth Academy has really changed my career and what I'm focused on. Like, when I first started Lenore coaching, I was focused on adult professionals helping to pivot their careers, right? That's still something I'm equipped to do. But my heart burns for us as professionals to know the purpose of our work. Like, we go into our day jobs and we do important things. We do a lot of administrative things. We serve clients and customers, but we're motivated underneath the surface for something, right? And so a lot of our youth don't know what they're driven by. Like, that's a scary thing to think about, a young person that doesn't know their why. They don't know what they want to do. So I say all that to say, I think employer partners, counselors, community members, like your involvement with this program, be a coach. You know, when I think about a coach, it's somebody that's giving some important information, but they're also nudging them. Like, it's not going to be a kumbaya type of feel. It's going to be some come to Jesus type of moment sometimes, and that's okay. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have got kicked in the butt by some coaches, some folks that have served in my life. So be a coach, be somebody that challenges youth, supports youth, and I think that is kind of the role that they play.
Thank you. Same question.
Advice?
Yes, insights or recommendations you would share with partners who are interested in joining.
Well, I can't say enough good things about working with this organization. They're here to support you. So number one, you're in great hands to collaborate. I think one of the things as folks who are working in professional environments, working with adults on an ongoing basis, if you aren't used to working with youth, particularly teens, you don't get the same feedback all the time from teens that you might get from an adult. And so sometimes it can be really intimidating and scary. Like, I know I'm older, but guess what? Like, we're not on the same reaction that I'm used to getting from an adult when I have a conversation with them. And so how do I make sure I'm getting through? I'm connecting. And don't be put off if the reaction isn't exactly what you hope it to be, because the outcome at the end will blow you away. And sometimes you can't see it through that whole 6-week period of time. And then at the end, you're like, how did this happen? This is wonderful. I got through, good. So just, be patient and be persistent and be approachable.
Before I answer the question, I want to circle back to my previous question about the challenges. I want to add that when the youth was let go, we made sure to communicate to them that it was a learning moment. It wasn't a defining moment. Do not be defined by that incident. So I just want to add that. Regarding what you should know, I would say, I'm going to repeat what the youth said because they said it so well. Communication, of course, is key. Patience, as I mentioned, I'm not a mother, so having patience, working with youth, it was a lot for me, and it was definitely something that I need to learn. Have an open mind and set clear expectations. I think sometimes, when you're in the workforce for a while, you think, oh, to wear XYZ when you come to work. Well, students who haven't been in a professional environment don't know that. So they need to know those things, You need to bring your social security card. You need to have your banking information, all these things when you start working at a professional job. So that's what I would say.
And I would say, one, if you're here and you're looking to get some MYA Youth Academy people, you are on the right track. Like Kendall said, this is one of the best organizations, and to be able to give teens the opportunity to come in and explore different jobs before they go out into the world is amazing. On your end, you're going to get somebody who really does want to work hard. They're in this program for a reason. And so you're going to get some great people that you will be able to mentor. I mean, you heard from some of the students earlier, like how great their, life changed because of this one experience. So that would give you that opportunity to change somebody's life. And I think that, in the community that we're in right now, that is one of the most important things that we can do to change someone's life for the better. And so that's all I'm going to say. I'll start with that one. Yes, but when you first meet with them and you're setting those expectations and telling this is really what your job is going to be. But yes, know that this is a learning curve for them at the beginning, but just constantly reiterating these are the expectations, this is what you're accountable for. That just setting that from the beginning, I think, is a big, huge step. If you're just kind of going at it like, hey, you need to do this and don't give them a lot of training or have them be able to ask you questions, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. So starting at that beginning in a strong way of, these are the expectations. We're here to help you, to please ask us questions. Don't just let it slide. I would rather answer a question 1,000 times, make sure somebody gets it right, than to never answer it at all. And so to set those expectations, I think, is the most important.
Anybody else want to add to that? No? No worries. Okay. We do have time for one more question. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Will Green from Secure Data. Q pretty much already answered the answer to my question, but to the rest of you, working with a younger generation, have you benefit or seen any insight or gained any insight on working with youth that kind of shape your business, your services, your products, working with Generation Z and younger? Have you benefited from it where it kind of molded or nudged you, or having you guys kind of consider or changes to your business model?
Well, really quick for me, because I work from 0 to 18. I love having them in the library and getting perspective of what trends are now, because that helps us drive our library programs. It helps us get more teens in. So I love the insight I get from them.
I have a interesting experience in that this is my 4th company that I've started. One of them was a social media company when social media was coming up. So I've spent a decade working in digital marketing and social media. I consider myself decent at it. However, having youth do our marketing with guidance and structure has brought vitality into it. It's connected with different audiences than if I'm doing it myself. And so there's a huge benefit by harnessing, some of the creativity and just exposure they have to things that, frankly, I'm not spending my time seeing. And that's been really valuable for us.
So like when I first started Lenore coaching, I was focused primarily on like us as adults, like how do you go from point A to point B, pivoting careers, resume. Like this book came out of working with Mayor's Youth Academy, purpose-driven work. I see like it's a concept by Dr. Darius Daniels about unique discontentment, meaning like inside of all of us, there's something inside of us that burns. That like why is this the way it is, and it kind of drives us. So for me, when I see young Black and brown kids in our community that are like apathetic to their own futures, like you can like my wife works in the school system and they acting crazy in the school system, but that's the only freedom that they actually have, meaning like they're in very vulnerable communities at home. So I'm gonna act crazy in the classroom because this is the only space that I got to do it. So I say that to say for me that's like my ministry, to be honest with you. Like I feel called to like help just give some kind of roadmap, some kind of direction, some kind of feedback to just give tools to our youth to navigate it. And on top of that, for us as well, because in all of our industries that we represent, like we're gonna have to like reach back in some shape or fashion. Even if we're not working with like a 14 to 24-year-old, we're still reaching back in some shape or fashion. So I'm trying to also equip us as professionals to reach back. And so that's kind of, this program has changed the vision of like what I want to do and have been doing as an entrepreneur.
All right. Thank you very much. Please give it up for our panelists one more time.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to try that one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. It is a bright, beautiful day in the city of Richmond, although it's always a wonderful day in the city of Richmond. My name is Solomon Brown, an engagement specialist for the Youth Engagement Services at the Office of Community Wealth Building, home of the Mayor's Youth Academy. I work with youth ages 14 to 18, somewhat level of a 19, and today you all should be excited because 2 of you get to walk away with a $50 gift card sponsored by Lowe's. Did everyone have an opportunity to drop their business card in the bowl when they entered? First up will be Brandy Page. Next up, we have before I say this name, I would like to ask for forgiveness. This is a learning experience for myself. We do redo, so just let me know. No. We have Tykira Smith. And last but not least, I'm gonna just do both at once. It does start with an O. Same thing I said earlier. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness. Louis Steen? Loston. Loston Finn. All right, apologies about that. Thank you. Here are your $50 gift cards.
Thank you all for that. Moving along, I personally appreciate everyone here for taking some time out of your busy work week. The saying, "It takes a village to raise a child," is more important now than it ever has been before. In my eyes, this Partner Summit is another great example of how we can all stay ahead of the mantra and build a better tomorrow for youth like myself. On behalf of youth in the city of Richmond, I would like to thank the Mayor's Youth Academy and the Office of Community Wealth Building for their continued efforts and providing opportunities for growth. To bring this to a close, I would like to introduce the Director of Office of Community Wealth Building, Ms. Capricia Spellman.
I feel like I'm at the church, when it's time to leave and you got so much to say. So I'm not going to use my notes today. I'm just going to thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for believing in the mission and vision. 2 decades ago, I was given the assignment to create something for youth impact. Never in a million years did I think that we would be here this many years later with something that this current team has created far beyond my wildest dreams. So let me thank this team formally for you all's vision and being able to carry this to something that has been intangible. And you as partners continue to have us shine. And so we appreciate you being here. And what we want before you leave is your yes. So our Youth Engagement Services Division is but one of the many opportunities that you might have to be able to partner with our office. And so we ask if you will take that commitment card that is in front of you on your tables and make a real commitment. We want you to give your yes today if possible. We invited some very heavy hitters here to the table, and you guys have been instrumental in our success. And to continue to be able to plant that seed for the youth of our generation to come, we ask that you leave your yes with us today. So if you'll just take a moment to look at that commitment card and let us know what it is that you might be able to do to continue to support this initiative, we would be honored and grateful. Is that great? Is that quick enough? You can leave it right here with us. And if you have any questions about what to fill out, you want to do more than one, we're happy to receive that as well. Sponsorship opportunities, hires opportunities, even hosting opportunities. All of those are available for you. We really, really, really want to continue our partnership. We want to feed you again next year, so you have to participate in order to do that. All right? So if you'll leave your yes with us today, and I think I'm the closer. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great day.